Hello, this is Michael from San Antonio. It's been 3 years since my last video, and during that growing season, I had done 5 videos. I've been away for a while to health issues, and I'm feeling a little bit better, and I want to get back to doing videos. I also want to get back to growing garden vegetables. It's still a little bit cool to grow garden vegetables outside, and I get winded very easily. I'm still recovering. So I thought I'd try something a little easier this time. I'm going to do hydroponic gardening, and I'm doing the static method, known as Kratky method. It's another name for it. The containers that people use can range widely from 5-gallon food-safe buckets with lids, tubs with lids, the kind that have the black bottom and the yellow lid. Get them from Lowe's and Costco. You can even get them from online on Amazon. I'm choosing to use pint jars with the white lids and 1-inch holes drilled in the top of the lid. And quart canning jars with the ring, and the ring helps hold the top edge of the foil. In these jars has to be water that is treated. If you do not have a whole house water treatment system, you'll have to come up with a way to use good, clean, treated water. I'm using a 6-pack of gallon jugs of drinking water from Costco. In the jars in the rear, I'm using a nutrient mix that's made from 3 parts. One is Master Blend. It has the ratios 4:18:38, and that's for tomatoes and vegetables. And the calcium nitrate is 15.5-0-0, and the Epsom salt, which is also magnesium sulfate. You take those and mix them up according to the instructions on the blue label. These were in bags, and I just simply cut the labels out and put the remainders in the jars to keep moisture from ruining it. Mix each one in a quart jar with treated water in it up to about halfway. Mix each one very thoroughly until it dissolves before you add the second one, and so forth. You just keep working your way through, making sure each one is totally dissolved before adding the next ingredient. Then you can put that in a 5-gallon container, and what I'm using is a blue Coleman water drinking container. It has a spout on it. They're square, and they have a vent hole and a spout. Got this on Amazon as well. I'll have to label that to where it'll be for drinking water for nutrient water only, not for human consumption. The grow media, it's not soil and it's not compost. You see a big brick right there in the rear, and it is cocoa coir. It is coconut shell fibers compressed into a real hard brick. It will damage your wood chisel. That I just learned from experience. So next time I cut into this, I'm going to cut into it with a electric reciprocating saw that has a metal cutting blade. It gets mixed 8 parts by weight, water, and cocoa coir. And you just walk off and leave it. 45 minutes later, you come back and it'll be all broke up, and you can stir it around with your hands and use that to put in your 3-inch pots. What I put into the 1-inch pots, rock wool. And the rock wool seems to me to be a little bit more tedious and more effort, because I had to cut the corners off of the squares and actually trim off a little bit of the bottom so that it would fit into the 1-inch cups. So when these are gone, I'll use the cocoa coir for even the 1-inch cups. My pint jars up front already have roots all the way to the bottom of the jars. And since there's no nutrient in there, I don't have to worry about algae bloom, which is why the quart jars have foil on them. Those have the nutrient blend, and that would cause algae to form, and you don't want that inside your jars. Now the quart jars, I'm using them for that second stage of growing, which is from seedling to harvest. The electric heat mat that I have underneath the jars helps keep the temperature. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it back there. I'm trying to keep the temperature in the 70s. Mid to high 70s if I can. Right now it's 75.5. Because it's still kind of cold in my garage at night. The glow light, I have it turned off currently because that puts a purple glow on what I'm doing here with my images. This is a round one, and I wish to get one that's 4 foot long with LED lights. Now the last thing I'm going to do today, besides discuss what you see right here, my wife and I were trimming our fig tree to get it ready for the next growing season, and while we were doing that, I noticed in one of my garden beds way out to the back of my property what looked like a great big weed growing in my garden bed. You could look at some of my previous videos and you'll see what I mean by my garden beds. The closer I got, I realized that's not a weed, that's a volunteer, and I'm thinking it's spinach. Now I'm going to prop up my seeds right here so you can see what I have. Hope I got the camera lined up right for you. So Bloomsdale spinach, giant noble spinach, yep, that's working. Little Jim Butterhead, lettuce, Paris Island Cost, lettuce, bouquet dill. And last but not least, I have this little toothache plant. Supposedly, according to the descriptions from the company I bought it from, you pinch off a leaf, you crush it with your fingers, and you rub it on your jaw, wherever you got a toothache. I'm not a doctor, I'm not telling you to do that. It's just, it says so on their descriptions. So I'm going to try it, even though I don't have any problems with my teeth right now. I just want to see if it makes your gums numb like they say it will. Now, the last thing I want to do is I'm going to trim some of these plants. Once they get to be like this, you want to trim off and leave one good healthy one. This is my lettuce, one of the lettuce. And so it seems tough decisions. Make that cut. All right. Now I have one to grow. That one's not high enough for me to cut yet. These two I've already trimmed. Just over the top of the spinach, because I think that's what that is. I don't think it's a lettuce. And I'm wanting to say that it's my, let's see, giant noble spinach. Now right here in the rear is dill. I have what looks like to be about 5 different plants. I'm going to leave 2 and let it have a little bit more growing time before I dig into that next one. I don't have my list down here, what my veggies are, and I don't remember what they are by looking at them. And that one in the far back, that's real spindly. But it's still there. It's right here. And I'm going to trim that off and leave a couple of the big ones. I'm using real tiny sharp scissors. You don't want to pull these up because you'll yank up the roots to the good ones and ruin the whole pot. So if you like my video, please go ahead and click the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so that you'll get notifications when I get new videos online, and by all means share with your friends and your family. Thank you and take care.